Hi, I'm Victoria Ballou, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to take a look at your personal readings for the week of May 9th. Choose a pile of cards that resonates with you. Is it Vesta, my warrior priestess? Or is it this beautiful fossil which resonates with perpetual growth? Or this magical quartz obelisk that draws energy from the universe? All three are very powerful. Choose the one that feels right to you, and let's get started. We'll begin with Vesta. We'll move her over, and we're working with the Thoth deck today. So let's take a look at what's going on for you this upcoming week. This is energy that you are generating right now, and that if you stay on your current trajectory, this is where it's headed. So let's take a look. The first card is the Chariot. The Chariot, of course, represents stillness and then movement. So what this is saying is that you have a decision to make this week. It's an important decision, and yet at the same time you cannot move too quickly on making the choice that you need to make. What the Chariot card says is that victory is virtually assured for you if you take the time to look at all the options. And then when you have considered everything and know that you must make a choice, then choose and don't look back. Have no regrets. So that's the first card that we're looking at for you this week. Second card, well, it's the Four of Wands. It's called Completion. Now, in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this is often known as the marriage card. And so completion resonates with the energy of something coming to fruition. Something that has been started a while back is now coming to completion. So this resonates with a project. It could also represent a relationship that you have. It could very much represent a relationship, and quite possibly marriage. This could absolutely represent marriage for you if you have been looking to get married or thinking about getting married. I think I see how this is shaping up with the three cards. So let's take a look at the third one. And it's the Knight of Discs. This can represent the energy of a person. If it's a person, it could represent you or someone else. This represents someone who is in the healing arts, meaning a doctor or someone in the healthcare industry or in the holistic healthcare industry. It could also represent someone in finance, someone who's affiliated with investments and that sort of financial realm. So there are two very different aspects here, even though they represent the same thing ultimately if you look at it in a very broad scheme, and that is that it brings rewards, health to you, whether it is physical health as in a healthy well-being or financial health. So that's what the Knight of Discs represents. And this is perhaps you. It could also represent someone that you know. This could easily, these three cards could easily be saying that you have a choice to make this week, that it's a big decision that is going to represent some sort of completion, and that this completion is going to resonate with something that is healing, something that is involved with investment. Again, if this is talking about marriage for you, then this is saying this is an opportunity for you to heal. That is absolutely one way to interpret these three cards. But first, it's saying you must make a choice. You must make a very big decision here. But be very cautious and take your time making this choice. Look at all of the options and then make your decision and move forward. Complete this project, complete this cycle. This is absolutely what the Thoth cards are saying to you right now. And then with this Knight of Discs, whether it's a person, whether it's you, or whether it represents the energy of health and finance, this is definitely related to how your week is going to go forward. Now, dreams. If you are paying attention to your dreams this week, remembering your dreams, I would guess that you, based upon what the tarot is saying here, that you're dreaming about roads, either that you're traveling in your car or that you're traveling on foot. And it could be that there is actually a choice for you to make, a Y in the road, a crossroads, something that you're needing to decide on which way you're going, or rather in the dream you're seeing a road divide and you're choosing one path or another. It could be a very smooth path, or it could be something that's filled with rocks or maybe very difficult to go through and perhaps up a mountain. This would all resonate with what these cards are saying to you right now. This is a very important week for you. Take your time as you make your choices. Allow that completion, whatever this is talking about, allow that completion to come to fruition. Close that circle. It's time to do that and pay close attention to whether this is health related, finance related. Okay, so let's move to the second wonderful stack of cards, and we will move this fossil to the other side, and let's take a look at our first card that comes up. Well, it's the Magician. What a way to begin your week, because of course the Magician represents charismatic energy, represents talents and unique gifts that you bring forward. This is either your energy or it represents the energy of someone that you're going to be dealing with this week. So who is the Magician for you? Is it you that we're looking at this week? If so, what is being said here is that you are focusing on your unique talent. Communication is a very big part of what is going to be happening with you this week. It's very important that you communicate as effectively, as clearly as possible. This is what is going to be the focus of your week. Now let's take a look at the second card to see what else is coming for you this week. Well, it's the Star. This is going to be a really incredible week for you because you have the Magician energy working in your favor. And you also have the Star card, which represents self-recognition. This is saying that you recognize that you are, in fact, a star. And you have this crystal clear perception of yourself in terms of where you are right now and what is going on in your life. This is dynamic energy for you this week, and I highly recommend that you work with this energy to put it into perspective and use it to the best of your abilities right now. This is dynamic energy to have these two things coming forth. Okay, let's take a look at the third card so we can get the full picture. You know, this is very interesting. You have the Four of Swords coming up. And in this deck, they call it truce. What this is talking about is calling a truce with something that is happening. Of course, swords represent our mental capabilities. It's all about our thoughts and how we're processing things. And of course, from a numerology standpoint, the number 4 represents a solid foundation. And this card in particular speaks of taking a pause in something that might have been stressful for you, either with another person or within yourself. So as we look at all three of these cards together, what we're seeing here is the Magician. This is going to represent either you or it's going to be someone else that you're dealing with this week. And then the Star energy is about the recognition that you have with yourself right now And the Four of Swords is that pause that I mentioned. So this could easily be a struggle that you've had with yourself about your own abilities that suddenly you're becoming very clear about, that you finally understand where you are, and rather than pushing, you're taking a break. You're just allowing yourself to feel the foundation of where you are right now, to take that breath and look further, deeper into what's going on with you and around you. And so the Magician energy, first thing you must determine, is this someone you, or is this someone else? And then from there you can understand the rest of the dynamic of what these three cards are saying for you this week. Regardless, understand that you are indeed the star this week. Recognize that. Allow yourself to be in that energy of the star, and give yourself a break. If you're pushing yourself too hard, allow yourself a little bit of a pause so that you can regroup. If it's someone else that you're in some sort of struggle with, allow it to pause. Allow that energy between the two of you to pause for a little bit. That's what this energy is saying to you for this week. Now, dreams. I would think that you could be dreaming about serpents, snakes, because this is life force energy that is coming forward here. That's what the Magician represents. That's what the star represents. And calling a truce, this Four of Swords energy, this is representing just recognizing where you are. So snakes are all about what in yoga they call the Kundalini rising. This is that serpent energy that can move through our bodies, through the chakras of our bodies. And when we dream about snakes, that's what we're dreaming about, is that life force energy that surges up through us and allows us all of this fabulous creative energy that we get. I would not be surprised if you are not dreaming about snakes this week, or some sort of serpent. Now, let's take a look at our third stack. We'll move over the obelisk and let's see what's coming up if you chose this stack. Well, it's the Two of Discs. This is called change. The reason it's called change is because there is definitely change coming, but what it also represents is a balancing act. It is saying that the two opposites that are in your life this week are needing to be mitigated. And what I mean by that is that there is something, and it's probably money related, that is working in your life. You're trying to find a balance here, and it's not going to be all that easy because these are opposing forces. So right at the beginning, first card here is telling us, if you chose this stack this week, this is saying that you are dealing with balancing some money issues, that you are trying to find your way through something that is changing regarding some sort of material or financial situation. But let's go to the second card for more clarification. It's the Prince of Cups. This is talking about being loved and loving in return. This is talking about the emotional aspect in your life being more important than anything else this week. If we look at this in terms of how it relates to this Two of Discs, it looks to me like there is some sort of situation that has emotional involvement for you, really deep emotional involvement between you and someone else, and that there is money involved as far as trying to navigate finding an alignment, a balance between money and some loved one is exactly what this is talking about. Let's take a look at the third card so we can get clarification here. It's the High Priestess. So what this is telling us as we get the whole story, as the entire narrative unfolds, is that you are working on a very deep level this week. There is something very deep and emotional that is coming together for you, that's taking you off balance a little bit, requiring you to find this equilibrium in the real world, dealing with finance, dealing with something material, but yet you are approaching it from a very emotional, intuitive way. So this is almost like you're at a place where you're needing to make a decision about how you're going to move forward here, because adjustment is necessary. Yet with this Priestess card, this is clearly saying to trust your intuition. Furthermore, it can also mean that there are things below the surface that need to be understood, that you may not be getting the full picture here, and that it requires you trusting your intuition and to look deeply into where you are with this matter, because clearly you have a lot of emotion involved. You're dealing with a subject that requires interaction with a loved one, or that concerns a loved one. This is really an important week for you, and take care as you move forward, because intuition is going to guide you. Allow yourself to trust your intuition as you work through this. Now, as far as dreams go, you could very well be flying, and it could be a very bumpy ride. You could be on an airplane, or you could be flying all by yourself, which is something I love to do in dreams. I love that I can fly all by myself in dreams. But chances are this one is going to be a less than steady, soaring flight for you. There could be moments when you are flying fine, and then at other moments not feeling that. So pay attention to your dreams and notice, if you are flying, how you're flying, how that flight is going. It will absolutely direct you as far as what your subconscious mind is trying to tell you. Thank you so much for joining me for your personal reading this week. And if you would like a private reading, you can always book one at my website, victoriaballou.com. And I will see you next week with a new reading.